All right, friends, it's Timon, and I'm back with a new video. It's on Jeffrey Verity Schofield. Yes, it's going to be an interesting video. The gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness, and possibly, you could say, gear slave that lives in China that somehow faked it because he couldn't make it. I'm just going to review parts of this video. I can't go through the whole thing, it's very long, but some parts are very interesting here. So we're going to start with this part here. Uh, two result two results versus processes. Yeah.
Focused versus being process focused. Personally, I would rate myself as probably being 80th to 90th percentile of more process focused than results focused. You might say, oh, Jeff, but you've gotten great results. Yeah, you can be entirely process focused.
Yeah, but they could be fake. You could fake the results.
And
I know he faked it because, I have enough experience to see that he faked it, and I can prove everything that I say. That's the difference between a lot of influencers online. I can prove everything. I bury these people with real science, not fake science, real science, not the fake stuff.
Get really good results. But if you're entirely results focused and you kind of ignore the...
Here's the thing. He keeps showing you him breaking his body down, like breaking proteins down. You could be adapted and break proteins down. But does that mean that you're getting micro tears? No. A micro tear in a muscle is astronomically difficult to get. And it cannot happen every day or every other day or every fourth day. It can only happen within every week or 14 days, a week to 14 days, or whenever. If you come in a year later or a month later, then you can still get them. But you can't get them if you keep coming in frequently to the gym, unfortunately.
Process, ironically, often your results are going to be kind of shit. For example,
yeah, they can fool you. You could be getting non-contractile proteins. You could be building them up, and that isn't myofibular growth.
Often younger beginner lifters are hyper-focused on how they look. And I get that, that's fine. But if you are lean and you are underweight and all you have are your abs and you're making those your identity, like lean is law, yeah, but that's only because you don't have anything else, right? All you have are your abs.
Well, because people are getting lean because they can't build muscle, so they figured might as well get lean. The thing with Joffrey Schofield Verity here is that I'm pretty sure he's faking it, all right? Because here's the thing, it just doesn't match. His strength to this mass that he's carrying is sarcoplasmic, because if you get myofibular growth, you're going to be very strong. You're going to lift very heavy, believe me. So not only are you going to lift heavy like people practicing to lift heavy, like power lifters, whatever, you're going to be able to lift very, very, very heavy. Because if you look at him, it shows that he looks like it appears he has a lot of myofibular growth. But in fact, he doesn't, because it just looks like, well, you just see size. You don't see myofibulars. But his strength, it's not very strong, his lifts. And you just know it's not. It's sarcoplasmic because it's not associated with strength.
And you want a bigger physique, but you're not willing to give up your abs. And so ironically, you don't really get anything else because you are so results focused.
Okay.
And I've had many a training block where things didn't really go my way. They didn't go well at all. I don't think I gained any muscle and didn't really make any progress in terms of strength. I was plateaued, but because I was...
Exactly. Yeah. So how did you get over that?
Process focused, I just kind of viewed that as part of the process. If you talk to any lifter who's been at it consistently for 10 years or more, they had phases where things were,
No, I didn't. I didn't have any of that. When I went to build muscle, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. Protein synthesis exceeded that breakdown. I came into the gym and I caused as many micro tears as I could so that I made sure that my muscles would go through a repair and a remodeling. And I knew that protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown to see that mass on that myofibular, just like the science today corroborates everything that I say in my videos.
And it just stagnant, plateaued. And this is where, if you're entirely results focused,
And when you build myofibrillar growth, it is a carryover to every sport. And I mean every sport.
you're just like, oh, well, I give up. Like, I guess I've hit my natural limit. I guess I'm done. No,
That's the excuses he's making that up. See?
you just did something that didn't work. As you become more advanced, more and more things won't work. You kind of get spoiled with those newbie gains where not everything will work.
Well,
but
they're definitely not going to work if you're adapted. They're not going to work if you're eating fake food and not protein. You're eating garbage. That doesn't build muscle. Carbohydrates, they don't build muscles. They don't build myofibrillars. Protein does. And this, you adapted lifting, that doesn't cause micro tears.
a bunch of things will work. You'll gain muscle from cardio. You can do any rep range.
You're not going to gain muscle from cardio unless protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown. And cardio doesn't cause micro tears. Unless, of course, you got some micro tears in your legs from that cardio, whatever it was you're doing there running. I don't know. I don't know what kind of cardio you're doing.
You can do a wide swath of exercises, and then suddenly you plateau because not everything works.
You do a wide variety of exercises, then you plateau. What did you plateau in doing exercise? What did you plateau? Exercise breaks down fucking proteins, you asshole. What the fuck are you talking about?
Anymore. And that's normal. That happens to everyone. That doesn't mean you failed. That doesn't mean you should give up. That doesn't mean you're at a limit.
Two things in bodybuilding. One, will build proteins. What is that? When protein synthesis exceeds that fucking breakdown, that's when proteins build. Now, when do fucking proteins break down? When you lift fucking weights, man.
Technically, no. It just means you have to try something else. You have to change the experiment.
Right, but guess what? You may be just breaking down proteins, but are you getting micro tears by doing this? And here's the thing. Even if you were, let's say you are adapted, let's say you got maybe you got very minute micro tears in that session because you all went to fucking failure. Yeah, failure. So that you managed to get a micro tear from failure, going to failure. Guess what? It may just repair because there wasn't enough for the body to say, you know what? I think we need to remodel. For a muscle to remodel, it has to be put to a degree of stress so it can be forced to remodel. That's why bodybuilding is very, very difficult. Real bodybuilding is astronomically difficult because you have to create so many micro tears in those muscles in one session. It's not easy. Then you need to go somewhere and protein synthesis needs to exceed that rate of breakdown. You need to eat and you need to be in an anabolic growth state that entire week until those muscles are repaired and what? Remodeled. Otherwise, you ain't going to see jack shit in myofibrillar growth.
Another one is perfectionism. I can't tell you how many times someone
Perfectionism. I love this.
has asked me about a training plan when they have no training history. I don't work.
Okay, I don't want to go to perfectionism. There was another one he was talking about. I can't remember what it was. Maybe I passed it. I'm not sure. Let's see. Knowing versus doing. Okay, let's try this one.
Doing. Those are two wildly different things, especially when it comes to training. I've met beginners and sometimes intermediates who know a lot of information about training. They know a lot of facts, often that they got from social media.
I don't base it. I base it off of experience. I know a lot because of my experience. That's how I'm able to find all the answers because I got experience already.
Yeah, they know how to target some areas, but they haven't really done it. And if unfortunately you have to talk to them, they know how to get a big back. They know all about the line of pull. They know all the different.
Oh, they know how to get a big back. How do you get a big back? Because you just did a line of pull, you just pulled down a weight and all that. That grew your back. That's bullshit. This guy's lying to you. He doesn't even know anything. He thinks weights build muscles. They don't build fucking muscles, asshole.
different divisions of all the different muscle groups. They know how to line everything up. They
Oh,
know all the
whatever.
most optimal exercises. They've read all the studies about it. They know the
Optimal
biomechanics. They
exercises.
follow all the gurus.
Optimal exercises to do what? To break down proteins? That's because that's all it fucking does, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. This guy's really stupid. Christ.
They know how to get a big chest. They know the technique to use and the big arms and legs. They don't have any of these areas, mind you, but they know how to do it. Now, you kind of get a little bit of a pass if you've been at it like 6 months or a year. But I've talked.
Yeah, they know how to do it, but they don't have any of that. Want to know why? Because weights don't build those areas. Duh. Lifting doesn't build muscles. They break muscles down.
People who have been at it 3, 4.
That's like Jason Blaha. And that's just like Joffrey Schofield. So how did Joffrey Schofield get big and bouncy?
5 years, and they really have very little to show for it. Now, often the genetics card gets.
That's Jason Blaha. But why did Joffrey Schofield have to show for it? He trains just like Blaha. So how was he able to overcome it? But Blaha can't. And Blaha is even on TRT, faking it. So why Jeffrey?
Is played, or sometimes the everyone is on steroids card gets played. No, it's the fact that you don't know how to train in practice.
You don't know how to train to break down proteins? Fuck, I see factory workers. They don't know how to train either. They lift a box and they put a box down. They're breaking down proteins all day. They're training.
You know in theory, but you haven't actually done it. The doing is.
Do you know why your body adapts and it doesn't get any more micro tears? It doesn't damage anymore? Because you'd get rhabdo and die if you were to work in a factory or some job or do something. You get rhabdo and die. So you going to the gym trying to build muscle, you're not getting micro tears lifting every day in the gym. You're stupid. You're mental. You're fucking breaking down proteins. You're deteriorating faster than you're aging by fucking lifting weights, you fool. It's not regenerative if you're adapted. It's only regenerative when you're unadapted to the exercises, you stupid fuck.
A lot more important than the learning for this kind of person.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
And of course, often these people.
Well, yeah, I would say a lot of people after what they learned, all the wrong things they learned, they have to unlearn all the stupid things that they learned.
People are happy to critique the people who actually got big. They didn't get big, but they know how to get big, and so they're.
I got big, and I know how to get big. And I have proof. I have videos, me, whatever. What are you talking about?
Happy to critique people who actually got big. It doesn't actually make any.
I can critique people that got big like you. You faked it to get big. I could tell. I could tell you faked it. I've watched your channel from the beginning. I've watched you're in China. You're telling me they don't have anabolics there available in any corner store where I live? You can't get shit over here. But you got it's all available there. You did it because you got frustrated, because you wanted to be an influencer and make money, because you don't make enough money teaching English there. So you want to make money as an influencer online. That's why you keep pushing all this shit.
Sense, but they have this level of Dunning-Kruger, of intellectual hubris, of high in the sky off of their own farm.
That's Joffrey Schofield. Verity.
That they are happy to critique other people who have gotten better results than they have. Yeah, wild.
Oh, you mean if you faked it, you got better cosmetic results on steroids than the other guy did? Oh, okay, Joffrey, sure, yeah.
So my practical advice here is to cut down on the information that is going in. You should not be spending more time watching fitness content or learning about lifting compared to actually lifting. Okay, I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb. Now, I definitely broke this at times, right? But I think that if you are being completely saturated with information and you're not really seeing results, clearly getting more information is probably not the limiting factor. The next would be being results focused versus being process focused.
Yeah, I was looking for that one part. I don't know where it is because he said something about people hating lifting. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's this one. I can't remember anymore anyway. I don't know where it is, dude. Knowing results, and maybe it's this one, perfectionism. I can't remember. Maybe it's this one. Let's see.
I can't tell you how many times someone has asked me about a training plan when they have no training history. I don't work with people who have less than about a year, maybe 6 months in the gym. Why? There's nothing to personalize. You don't have a training history. You have to go in and do something to get those newbie gains, but people aren't even willing to do that when it's the
You have
easier.
to do something to get those newbie gains. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you go to the gym and then you get some newbie gains. You get muscle damage. A unique feature of eccentric exercise that untrained people get what stiff and sore next day due to what muscle damage. And so they untrained first training satellite cell fusion, boom. Then it reaches a ceiling limit during that hypertrophic process beyond where the satellite cell can donate any more extra nuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth. So what do you need to do to support further muscle growth? You need more of these nuclei and stuff. Okay, where do they come from? The micro tears. The micro tears donate the nuclei repair, remodel the muscles. That's how they do. They synthesize protein. So, but you can't synthesize any more protein because not enough protein is coming in and you're negative protein balance. So what the fuck did you expect to build muscle? You need to be above protein synthesis, okay? Above fucking protein nitrogen balance, okay, dude?
Part of your training journey. You're climbing that mountain and it's going to get steeper as you go.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not willing to take the first steps that are the easiest steps,
Okay.
because you're being perfectionist and you want to know the perfect plan that can get you the desired outcome without even trying. It sounds crazy to say, but do people even like lifting anymore? Do we even enjoy this? I mean, I know I do, and I know a lot of my viewers do, but a lot of the guys starting out.
No, people don't enjoy lifting at all. That's the whole point. They don't enjoy it. They go there because they're stupid. You understand me? Because they're eating unnatural food and stuff, and they think that this is somehow going to reverse all the shit that they're doing or something like that, or some crazy idea it's going to make them attractive. But it's not going to make your face more attractive. Sorry.
I can tell they fucking hate lifting. They don't like it. They want to be able to do.
Yeah, because it's not giving them any results. That's why they hate lifting, because they don't understand what lifting is all about. And they can't afford to eat real food. And that's another problem. They can only afford the peasant slave food diet. And that's going to destroy their physique even more, lifting. And so they're not eating raw animal products, which will change their look, like the looks maxing community. Did the looks maxing community need a gym to change their looks? Absolutely not. Look at their transformations. They eat raw animal products and their faces and bodies change. Get it? Now, can you change your genetics lifting? No, absolutely not. You cannot change your genetics lifting. So when you see some fucking steroid asshole going, look at my transformation, and all you assholes out there go, oh, look, he's got great genetics all of a sudden. No, he doesn't. He just took some cosmetics. It's a cosmetic look, okay? It's temporary. But all you are fucking so stupid. You haven't really changed. Your bones and everything is the same. They're the same. Now, can you, through muscle damage, can you change your bone structure and your muscle and quality of your body, your skin? Yeah, you can, because it's based on regeneration. So a combination of regenerating through muscle damage and when protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown, those two combinations really take off. Like the regeneration part takes off like really high. Now you've got both, a balance of both. So it really takes off. So you're gaining fucking more micro tears in the bone. The bone is going to get bigger, a lot faster, a lot quicker. You're going to gain more muscle mass, a lot faster, a lot quicker. Your skin is going to get better too, providing you're eating raw meat, raw natural animal diet. You see what I mean? You're not eating processed food, cooked meat, because the damaged DNA is going to make you look damaged. Get it? All the time.
The minimum rather than anything more than that. Oh, one set, 4 to 6 reps, make sure you keep reps in reserve, don't get too fatigued, and then that's optimal. It's so easy to sell people on doing as little as possible and doing it as easily.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You don't have to do a lot. Smart people, they do less and get more results. That's how you get results in this world. You have to do it smartly, not stupidly. You don't get results by breaking down your body 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, idiot. You don't do that. You break it down once and then you build it the rest of the week. Only a stupid idiot would go to the gym 5, 6 days a week lifting to break down his body and to age it, deteriorate it. Get it? But a smart person goes there to regenerate muscle. How do you regenerate muscle? Well, you break your house down once and then you start building your house the rest of the week because it takes a whole week to build your house back up. Get it? And now you're building it up bigger and stronger every time. It's going to grow bigger and stronger all the time. The bone, skin, ligaments, tendons, and muscles, they're all going to grow in unison. Now, they're going to grow a lot better if you eat raw animal products. Get it, bro? Yeah.
As possible, that's just not going to work past a certain point for most people.
Yes,
By the way, this video
it's always going to work if you do what I say.
sponsored by Boostcamp. So one thing that I often see are people who are not tracking their training. If you're not tracking your training, it's a lot harder to progress because you don't actually remember what you did. And don't think, oh, I'm going to remember every set, or if I just go to a failure, like it'll take care of itself. That is often not the case. Plus, you get access to a ton of different training plans.
I don't need his training plans. It's all garbage. See what else he has here. I'm tired of listening to this shit. Pessimism? I don't know what this is. Pessimism, whatever. Pessimism. Okay.
And these guys are the most pessimistic about their potential as well as the potential of others. It used to be when I started lifting 11 years ago, and even more before that, people didn't really know about steroids or think about steroids or
I don't know what you're talking about. They knew about steroids. They were taking steroids. I knew people taking it. I don't know what generation you're from, dude. I don't care, really.
consider them to be a factor. There were a lot of people who thought peak Ronnie Coleman was natural and were like, yeah, that's the physique guy.
Ronnie Coleman? Where was he in the 80s? I've never seen Ronnie Coleman. I know you're talking about.
Want
Where's Ronnie Coleman?
that has negative
He came way after the fact, somewhere in the late 90s. Okay, whatever. You probably weren't even born back then when he came out.
consequences for sure. I'm not saying that's ideal, but nowadays anyone with a decent arm or like who's somewhat lean is considered to be a
His training is average. How did Schofield create this cosmetic look that he has? This body cosmetic look. How did he create it? He does the exact same exercises, the exact same things. He never shows what he eats. I doubt that he eats very well. It's always the same stuff. So how did he create it? He faked it. That's how. Because only a person that actually did it could explain it to you. And nobody does explain it to you like I do online with real science. Get it, dude?
fake natural. And that is sad because these people are limiting
Fake natural. That's him. He's talking about himself. He's crazy.
themselves. I mean, they're wrong in a lot of cases, but even more so, it's the idea
That's him. If he faked it, then he'll be wrong. Everything he tells you won't work for you because he faked it. If somebody fakes something, how could they explain how it works in the real world if they faked it? In other words, let's say you meet a guy that's a multi-millionaire, but he inherited the money. And then he tells you, oh, I had these businesses and I made all this money. You need to go and do copywriting and this and that. Well, he tells you copywriting, but what about copywriting, bro? Does he know anything about copywriting? This is fucking bullshit. Like, he just makes it up so he can sell you a program.
their standards are so low. And there is that gray natty or not zone that almost all natty or nots are done on because no one really needs a natty or not on The Rock, right? Like it'll get clicks and views, but it's not really
The Rock, look at him. He lost all of this fake muscle because it was cosmetic. He lost it in 1 month. It took him 1 month to lose, like, I don't know, over 50 pounds or something. And look at him. Look at him there and there. Yeah. He's a shell of a man.
necessarily. Same thing with Liver King. It's pretty darn obvious. But there's that big
And here's the thing. They're going to start deteriorating really fast. He's already deteriorating in 1 month.
gray zone where it goes from, okay, that looks reasonable, certainly naturally attainable. We don't know if they are natural in particular, right? They could be blasting trend and just look very mediocre. That does occasionally happen.
I don't know, maybe.
Kind of sad, but it's true. You see some 18-year-old on trend and they have like 21
That's him.
FMI and look like crap.
He's talking about himself.
That's because they didn't think they could go anywhere naturally.
Okay, whatever.
Some places like Reddit.
They didn't think they could go anywhere natural because they never put in the work. That's why. They don't have money to eat.
Natty or Juice, where anyone above like a 21 or 22 FFMI is gonna get
Okay, whatever.
and wisdom. So as mentioned before, a lot of new lifters have probably more information at their fingertips than at any point.
Information and wisdom, yeah.
Wisdom. So as mentioned before, a lot of new lifters have probably more information at their fingertips than at any point in history, and they have a lot of information that they've
I do. I have a lot of that. I use it just to prove what I say based on my experiences.
absorbed and is floating around in their brain. However, they don't have any wisdom. Wisdom has to come from experience.
And that's me. And I say that Jeffrey Schofield has no wisdom because he faked it. I can tell he faked it. Only an expert can tell you he faked it. Somebody who has experience, and I got experience. And I'm telling you he faked it.
Information might be the starting point, it might be something you try, but if you don't actually go in and do something, you're not going to have any wisdom. And I can't tell you how many times a beginner, or at least I assume they're a beginner based on their physique,
Okay, whatever. Enough of this, man. They're beginning based on their physique. I can't go any more on with this. Is boring.
is always going to be your experience and the collective wisdom. Afraid of failure, and I guess more generally just fatigue. You look at them and you look at their training, it's only 3 days a week full body because they need those 4 rest days a week. It's only the most optimal exercises.
Well, he was right. A lot of people, they don't like lifting. So that's the truth. Want to know why? Because you're not made to be doing any of that. That's why. You're not made to be slaving yourself. Nobody wants to slave themselves for no reason. Breaking down proteins and aging yourself is not fun. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. So just ridiculous video. There's not much to talk about there. That was it, basically. All right, friends. I'll see you later.